Hello everyone. I finally have full thoughts, minimal non-spoiler thoughts. This is going to be a very short, maybe 4 or 5 minute video of just my basic thoughts of Spider-Man No Way Home, because I'm going to do a spoiler review that'll be up on Sunday night, hopefully, so people will have seen it this week. I'm seeing it with my dad Sunday night, so I feel like it's a good time to upload the video before I go into the theater and watch it a third time. So I saw it twice on opening night, Thursday. I went at 3 p.m. with my buddy Jacob. I'll throw in a photo. He's dressed as Spider-Man and shit. And then I went again at 8 p.m. with a couple of other friends. And it was a hard film to process, because I feel like people are coming out going, oh, best movie of the year, 10 out of 10, best Marvel movie, best Spider-Man movie. And I'm here like, I can't be on that level. I feel like the reason people are saying that is the hype. Hype can get anyone to automatically just go, fuck yeah, to a film. I can already tell you right now, not as good as Spider-Verse. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse means so much to me. I saw that film so many times in theaters, and that's not just an occurrence that I go back to. I thought that the film was just a perfect story. This film is messy, you know? Like, it is an overall messy story. Probably either my second or third favorite. I went back and watched Spider-Man 2, logically a better story-driven film, but I had more fun with this one. This is the most fun live-action Spider-Man movie I can say I've seen ever. It's so much fun, and emotional, and gripping, and exciting. It is a bigger audience experience I had here than I did with Avengers Endgame. Avengers Endgame is a pretty fucking grand film, so me saying this should have people going like, bigger than that? What does that mean? It is bigger than that. It is such an event. It won't make as much money because, pandemic, but granted, did it need to make as much money? I mean, it's going to prove that it's going to make a shitload of money even during a pandemic. If your theater wasn't sold out, where the fuck are you living? Because both screenings were practically sold out for this film. My IMAX theater opening night was so uproariously loud and cheering, and I was like, fuck, I can't help but do it too, because it is so much fun. I'll get into the good things, and I'm only going to go based on what you see in the trailer, so this is non-spoiler. Basic premise, Peter is outed by Mysterio that, he's Peter Parker as Spider-Man, and what makes that video more than just him being Spider-Man and people being like, oh cool, he's Spider-Man, it's because that video showed that, of course, it was sort of looked and framed to seem like he killed Mysterio, and that he was revealed as Peter Parker, so he's like a murderer. So, of course, there's like legal shit going on, and he can't get into college and all of this stuff. And so he goes to Doctor Strange to tell people to wipe the world, to make them forget that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. To just get everything out of the way. If they forget he's Spider-Man, he can get into college, he can get his friends into college, very simple shit. And he tries the spell, but he keeps changing things about the spell, and Doctor Strange loses it, and eventually villains from the Raimi and Mark Webb iterations of Spider-Man start coming in. You saw the trailers: Doc Ock, Green Goblin, Sandman, Lizard, and Electro. Those are the 5 you see in the trailer. And they all show up, and they give you this fucking big, grand, epic scale fight scenes. One on the bridge with Doc Ock that you see advertised. It's the thing you most see advertised about this film is probably the Doc Ock bridge fight, because they don't want to show you more, because there is so much more to be held. And it's so exciting. I will get into complaints. Editing is the number one complaint I have. It is a jumbled together film. Infinity War jumps a lot, but not as much as this film does, which is saying a lot. This film is kind of like hard to watch at times. It gets stressful. The editing can ruin some of the jokes, some of the villain interactions. A lot of that stuff is kind of brought down because of the overall feeling of the editing. It is so quickly done. You know that joke in the trailer where he goes like, sir, I think we saved the world together. You're better than calling me sir. And he goes, okay, Steven. And then there's like a pause between it, and he goes like, that's weird, but I'll allow it. In here, there's no pause. Like, it's instant. He says it like probably while Peter is just barely finishing the line. Because the editing here is so quick cut, because this theoretically could have 4 hours to develop everything going on. And instead we get it in a 2.5 hour movie to make it more theatrical and not like Endgame long or longer. So a lot of that shit feels quick, and it feels like at times people aren't even really interacting with each other. It just goes by so quick. That and a lot of unexplained stuff I won't get into until I do my spoiler review, but there's just things that I'm like, I wish this was confirmed more or clarified better in some ways, but it just wasn't. There's a lot of things that felt very rushed and lackluster simply to move the plot forward. With that being said, this movie's meant to be stupid. It is a comic book movie. This is not... I'm not talking about fucking... whatever, Red Rocket. Come on, come on. This ain't A24. This isn't a giant independent art house film. This is a Marvel movie. And the best Marvel movies know the ones that they're dumb, and this film recognizes that it's dumb. It knows. It clearly knows. You can just watch the trailer and tell that it knows, like, this premise is fucking crazy, goofy, but it's gonna be hype, and everyone is gonna lose their shit. I won't give away any surprises that are grand and great in this film. You'll have to wait till the spoiler review. Well, actually, you'll see it and find out, but in the spoiler review, I'll go more in depth about... I can explain more about what I like and dislike, but because of what I like so much, I feel like it overweighs the dislike. I'm just gonna be happy here. I really just want to be fucking happy. I seriously... I don't want to nag about this film being like a fucking mess, a tonal mess. This is one of the most fun films I've ever seen in theaters, and is gonna go down, hands down, as easily top 5 greatest theater experiences. It is an awesome thing to see with a crowd. Sadly, we're in a pandemic, so try to be careful. If possible, get vaccinated even before seeing it. But if you can go this opening weekend, that's when the crowds are going to be loud, and it's going to be a real crowd. So if you could see it now, would be better. For me personally, I'm going to give this film a 9 out of 10. That could change. It could go up to perfect just because I fucking don't give a shit, and I'm just deciding, you know what, I love this film. It could go down, but I think a 9 out of 10 is where I'm staying. It is my favorite of the Homecoming trilogy, probably, even though Homecoming is this more consistent, just high school film that I kind of have a knack for, but this film I think is honestly my favorite, so I had a blast watching it. I'm going to go see it again and again. Can't wait to get that fucking 4K and watch it again and again at home. Can't wait to see how they made it. It's pretty crazy. Everything they do. If you're a Spider-Man fan, you probably cried, you probably laughed, you probably cheered like me. Spider-Man is, I mean, as a logical thing, I could say, my favorite hero in the MCU, my favorite have been a little basic and one not basic at all. Rocket Raccoon and Iron Man, I found them the most relatable characters, and the ones, believe it or not, Rocket is having a ton of development in Guardians that I think people are like overlooking. Like, he is an emotional core more than any character. Even James Gunn has said this. So, and Iron Man is just, of course, like the shining star of the MCU. He's what built it up. But in the MCU now, because, well, everyone knows Iron Man's kind of gone, and Rocket's still a great character. Spider-Man's my favorite character, and Spider-Man's been my favorite superhero since I was a kid. He's just the hero that everyone knows. I watch the shows, the Raimi films. I grew up on that shit, so I kind of have a niche for Spider-Man more than anything. So yeah, this meant a lot to me. It's a great film. Go out and see it. It is the hype film of the year. It's going to make a shitload of money, and you should be a person giving to that money. Yeah, 9 out of 10. This is 8 minutes, longer than I thought. A lot more thoughts coming in the spoiler review. I still have to see Nightmare Alley this week. I don't even know when I'm going to do that, because I'm going to be seeing West Side Story again. I need to take my parents to see Spider-Man. They're going to go with me. Sing 2's coming out. Matrix is coming out. People probably want to see The Kingsman. I know I promised my friend Gabriel I'd go see West Side Story with him. A lot of shit. Too many movies. Why are they all coming out once? I don't know. But 9 out of 10 for Spider-Man. That's it.